Well, he can continue. And, I do think there have been a lot of anonymously sourced things. I think he's right about that. And so if I were in his shoes, I'd want a chance to go to the table and answer questions and clear my own name and fight for my own reputation. I'm sure he's doing that behind the scenes.
Although some of the veterans organization stuff, I mean, it's not all anonymously sourced. I mean,
well, some of the more salacious character-based attacks have been anonymously sourced. And there have been a lot of people on the record who have worked with him either in the military or at Fox News who have come forward in their name on the record to say, I've never witnessed any of this kind of behavior and so on. So, but that's the purpose of a hearing, right? You go to the table, you answer questions under oath, people come and defend you or people come and make allegations against you. But we're a long way between now and the hearings. My sense is he's still below the line. I mean, he's probably not there right now. And
because I think if he lost 3 Republican senators, assuming all Democrats voted against him, I mean,
you can't lose many, and no offense to the rest of the cabinets, but the Defense Department is different than virtually everything else, and the bar to be Secretary of Defense is going to be very high. And there's a cohort of Republican senators. This is their main issue: national security, foreign affairs.
Okay, it doesn't sound on your answer that you've gotten to a yes. If I'm wrong about that, correct me. And if that is the case, it sounds to me as if the hearing will be critical for his nomination. Am I right about that?
I think you are right. I think for a number of our senators, they want to make sure that any allegations have been cleared, and that's why we have to have a very thorough vetting process. And that's why I was happy to sit down with Pete and have that conversation with him yesterday. So again, all I will say at this time is that we did have a very thorough discussion over a number of those issues. And the vetting will continue, I am certain, through the next month or so until we approach that hearing date.
And he has some. I think it's important to get somebody outside the current Pentagon establishment. For 12 of the last 16 years, everybody who's been promoted from colonel to general has been done so by currying the favor of a Democratic White House. There's a sense among Republicans that the military brass, though, is pretty far left, and that you do need somebody who comes from way outside that current system, that current hierarchy, to shake it up.
I don't know about the far left stuff, but certainly the military-industrial complex would be good to have somebody from outside that, without question.
There's a good reason for him to head the Department of Defense. Number one, we rely about 1/3 of our fighting men and women are in the Guard and Reserves. Pete Hegseth is a Guard and Reservist who's been in combat. He's pulled a trigger. He's seen bullets go by people.
Hundreds of thousands of people also qualify.
Those are the
if that's the case.
But he's led people in combat. Those are the people who have been bearing the burden, and their families have been bearing the burden of our foreign policy the last few years, many of which all of us as Republicans supported. But I think that the guardsmen and women and reservists are going to be happy to see somebody who's way outside the Pentagon brass, somebody who's actually been on the line, worn the fatigues,